All right, sixth graders, welcome back. Our learning target for today is multiplying polynomials by a monomial. So we're going to be using the distributive property, which we used a while ago for today. So I'm kind of looking at example 1, and there's some different rules when multiplying polynomials versus adding polynomials. You don't have to worry about like terms at all for this. You still multiply everything. So here's the first one for check 1, 3x and in parentheses x plus 4. So remember, for the distributive property, the outside one distributes to everything on the inside. Okay, and for multiplying, when you have 3x times an x, it changes to 3x squared. Okay, and if I were to distribute that, I still 3x to the times 4. I just multiply the numbers. 3 times 4 is a positive 12, and there's only the 1x. And that's my final answer. And then remember, that's a binomial for that one. Okay, so for the second one, we'll try x in parentheses 2x minus 3. So again, using the distributive property for both. Okay, so remember, it's kind of like a 1's in front of it. So 1 times 2 is 2. X times x, that changes to x squared. 1 times 3, or negative 3, is minus 3, and it's just the x. And remember, I can't combine any further now because it's adding and subtracting. That's my final answer. I can't combine a 2x squared minus 3x. Okay. In the check 2, they're just adding a monomial by multiplying it by a trinomial. So they're just adding a term. So we'll try some of those for the check 2 also. So let's try the x in parentheses x squared plus 2x plus 4. So again, the term on the outside distributes to all 3 terms on the inside. So now again, x times x squared comes to x to the 3rd. Remember, you can think of a 1 here. 1 times 2 is just 2. X times x changes to x squared. 1 times 4 is 4. And then we have the x. And again, that's my final answer. And 2, these are written in standard form, 6th graders, because the highest power is first and the lowest power is last for this. So I'll try this last one of this kind, 2a squared in parentheses 2a to the 3rd minus 3a squared plus 3. And go ahead, you can pause, try this one on your own before kind of looking at the answer. Okay. Should multiply the numbers, so 2 times 2, 4. And notice you're just adding the powers, if you're noticing. So it just becomes a to the 5th. Okay. Do the multiplying of the numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. I'm adding the powers. 2 and 2, 4. Okay. 2 times 3 is 6. And again, I'm just left with a squared. And that's the simplest form I can go. So using the distributive properties for those first few and making sure with the variables that you add the exponents for that. Okay. Example 3 is a little bit different. They say write them as a product of 2 factors now. So this is a little bit different. And this is the first one for the check 3, 2x squared plus x. What you want to do first in these, you can see kind of up in the example, is to write the prime factorization. So in this, the prime factorization is 2 times x times x. Okay, because 2 is a prime number, x squared is just x times x. On this one, it's just, oops, I skipped down, it's just x. What you do next is circle what's in common between them. So this is in common. This is then what ends up on the outside, the x's, okay? For the first term then, what's left on the top is 2x. what's left on the bottom is nothing, so we want to write plus 1. So then if you were to solve this, guys, this is my final answer. But if you were to solve it, it would end up as this one on the top. So I can see, yep, that would be 2x squared. X times 1 is just, plus x, or 1x. So I can always check my answers for these, that it should come out to the end. But this is how to write it as a product of two factors. Okay, let's try one with a trinomial then. It was 2b to the third plus 6b squared minus 12b. Okay, so first job, just write the prime factorization of them all. So 2 times, so that's for the first one, 2b to the third. For 6, prime factorization of the numbers, 2 if it helps. On the side, guys, you can write a factor tree. I mean, to help think of that, times b times b. Okay, so think of the prime factorization of 12. Well, the numbers come out to 2 times 2 times 3 times b. So again, look what's in common between all of them. Looks like I have a set of 2's in common. I have a b in common, and that's all that is in common between all 3. So that's what goes on the outside. Then I just look at the first term. What is left is b squared. Okay, these were left. What is left here is a positive 3b. What is left here is a 6. Now I got to be careful because this was a minus sign at the top, so I got to keep it the same. So again, this is my final answer. But I'm going to use it to double check. 2b times b squared would be 2b to the third. 2b times 3b would be 6b squared. And 2b minus 6 would be minus 12b. And I can go back up to the top here. Yep, 2b to the third, 6b squared minus 12b. I got the correct answer. So go through a few on your own, guys, and come with any questions to class.